A complaint levied at the new Zelda is how the character progression compared to previous entries in the franchise is either less satisfying or gone entirely. I personally feel that people who make that complaint have not played past the Great Plateau and are annoyed by their wooden clubs breaking a lot. I completely disagree and believe that the character progression in Breath of the Wild is the conceit of the game. It is literally all that happens. You find an enemy, decide whether you are confident enough to defeat it, go and get stronger, and come back. It's a very natural progression and possibly subtle enough to miss. By the end of the game, Link is a god, and I think what so clearly encompasses the progression is the trial Eventide Island. The internet has gone kind of crazy about this trial, and I agree it is the most interesting trial in the entire game. I guess you could say it's the hardest trial, but a better word would be the most involved trial. On the southeast corner of the map, there's a large separated island that is an ever-intriguing destination for the player. However, because of its location, it requires a ton of stamina for you to even be able to reach it. So more than likely, a player will have progressed through a good portion of the game before attempting it. This trial is unique because it begins when you land on the island, as it takes away all of your items, including clothing, and tells you to get good, essentially. It is specifically designed for you to scavenge and use your wits to locate and retrieve 3 balls and put them in their respective pedestals. This trial is a controlled environment made by the developers to challenge how you are playing the game, and if you are playing it without varying up strategy, you will not succeed. And incidentally, the people who complain about weapon durability and character progression probably aren't playing this game with much thought about battle strategy and would prefer to just swing a sword mindlessly like you could in older Zeldas. To me, Zelda is all about puzzles and logic, and in Breath of the Wild, they were able to infuse its combat and traversal with that same logic. Now you have been reduced to a naked, weaponless, defenseless boy and have washed up on this beach like in Link's Awakening. The astonishing difference in how much weaker you feel is palatable and really stretches your strategic ability. It's all about using your environment to best achieve success, and you can't bully your way through this one. There's no escape. If you try to just muscle your way through this shrine, it will end in failure, and I love that. The tools are there but are not obvious. All that's left to you is your runes, and for your first ball, there are metal boxes that you can use magnesis on to fight the enemies guarding it. Maybe you never thought to use that before, but now it is clearly your best option. There's another ball on top of a mountain, guarded by even stronger enemies, and for my attempt, I had to use the lightning to my advantage and throw a metal sword at a moblin for the lightning to strike him and kill him. The gratification of using the rules of the game to best an enemy by outsmarting him than just out-hitting him cannot be overstated. In the jungle portion of the island, you can scavenge for food and health items, but it's very limited and doesn't leave a ton of room for mistakes. They want you to perfect your run. This would include actually utilizing the cooking features of the game and getting the absolute most out of your items as possible. Then comes the last ball, and it's being warned by a Hinox. This towering foe was difficult to beat normally by the time I flew to this trial, but now I have almost nothing to use against him. Then you take a peek at your environment and you see they've placed boulders around the Hinox. The Hinox is sleeping, so you get a free first hit. Using stasis, you can knock off a huge amount of damage using the boulder as a weapon. It's an intense fight and all the more satisfying to defeat as you've been given this highly specific challenge in a specifically tailored landmass to attempt it in. Or you can just steal the ball from him like this guy. Didn't even think of that. That's the thing, it doesn't lose the whole you can solve things in whatever way you want quality of this game that feels so special. If you watch videos of this trial online, you'll see all of them tackle the trial in their own individual ways, like how I described my experience here. Unfortunately, I didn't record my attempt and don't want to play through the whole game again to get back to this point and lose all of my previous save data. Nonetheless, each of the 3 balls being guarded forced me to use 3 completely unique and previously untested methods of attack that would be something I would implement in my strategy going forward. The character progression provided by this island happens to the player, making them more aware of the environmental options when in battle, treating it more intelligently. Also, once you complete the shrine, you're giving your items back, and there's this obvious level of progression felt. Juxtaposing naked Link directly to your current Link is a crazy feeling. You feel stronger, safer, and more confident even though nothing's changed. Now you finally realize Link has progressed and gotten better, and because of this trial, so have you. See? Now it all clicks. Thanks for watching my video on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game is incredible. I recommend it to everyone. If you'd like to know what I'm working on in the future, I usually post about it on Twitter all the time. That's a good place to know and be updated when new videos come out. Also, subscribing helps that same issue. Thanks for watching.